Thank you, Madam Chair. What has been called a big and beautiful bill is as cruel and ominous a piece of legislation as I have ever seen in my many years on this earth. The big ugly bill cuts access to health care for 17 million Americans, so tens of thousands each year will die prematurely and will die preventable deaths because big shots in government want to give their multimillionaire and billionaire donors like Jeff Bezos and those who attended his $50 million wedding in Venice another huge tax cut. $3.8 billion in tax cuts, the lion's share going to folks like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and yes, the king of crypto, Donald Trump himself. While condemning the needy to preventable disability and premature death, this cruel legislation also cuts funding for food to feed the needy. I would be ashamed of myself if I ever voted for something like this. I would not be able to live with myself enjoying my $174,000 a year salary and government-subsidized health insurance, while 17 million of my brothers and sisters lose their access to medical care, and 3 million hungry children and senior citizens go without food just so that folks can buy another super yacht. I'm here this evening to speak up for the least of these. On my way here today, that phrase came to mind, the least of these, and so I Googled it when I sat down in here. It took me to Matthew chapter 25, verse 40 through 45. And to paraphrase verse 41, for I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat, and I was sick and you did not come look after me. I'm here this evening to speak up for the least of these. I'm here this evening because I'm deeply troubled by the big ugly bill which weaponizes the social safety net against those who need it most. Among its gravest failures is the omission of support for unaccompanied minors who are forced to navigate complex immigration proceedings without legal counsel, leaving kids, children, infants alone, frightened and unprotected in court. My amendment directly addresses this moral injustice by providing critical funding for appointed counsel, ensuring that children's rights are respected, their dignity is preserved, and justice is truly served. Through the crafting of this harmful Trump-appeasing bill, the Republicans, MAGA Republicans, have deliberately undermined Medicaid, with one senator dismissively claiming that concerned Americans would simply get over it. Such remarks reveal that they fully recognize how dangerous this bill weakens essential health care protections and will result in the unnecessary deaths of 500,000 people over the next 10 years. 500,000 of our brothers and sisters will lose their lives because of what MAGA Republicans are trying to do just so that their donors can get another tax cut. Section 71-102 removes critical safeguards against coverage lockouts and annual and lifetime coverage limits, jeopardizing children's long-term health. Additionally, Section 71-119 imposes an unnecessary 80-hour work requirement that has consistently stripped coverage rather than promoting employment. You want sick, poor people living in rural America? I'll talk about rural America, not about those inner city rats that Senator Tuberville talked about. I'm going to talk about my brothers and sisters in rural America who would be forced to get up from their sick beds and find a way to get to town or out to the field so that they could find a job and work a minimum 20 hours a week, 4 hours a day, 5 days every week before they could become eligible for coverage that would enable them to get well so that they could work again. Healthcare should be a right and not a privilege in the wealthiest nation on earth, and access to a doctor must never be weaponized against the sickest of us. My amendments strike these harmful sections, restoring compassion, equity, and common sense to Medicaid. We watched as this bill rushed through under the cover of darkness, likely because it recklessly cuts critical funding without transparency. My amendment requires transparent public reporting, ensuring communities have visibility into how their resources are managed while protecting vital investments in climate resilience. Lastly, Madam Chair, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me, is Matthew 25, verse 45. I think we should all keep that in mind as we go about our business today. And with that, I'll yield back.